What's going on, everybody? I'm John Opinion Sports, and today I'm going to talk about USC wide receiver Drake London. We're going to talk about what he's good at, what he needs to improve on, and where he'll go in this year's draft. Out of all the possible first-round wide receivers, Drake London intrigues me the most. First off, he has the size you're looking for from a premium wide receiver. He's 6'5", 210 pounds. That is elite size and length. And if I'm sculpting my dream wide receiver, that's what I'm drawing up. Now, the height is obviously a huge advantage. Most cornerbacks in the NFL are between 5'10" and 6'1". London is a former basketball player as well. We've seen them former basketball players have huge success in the league. They seem to have better body positioning and high point the ball better down in the end zone. And I do think Drake London will thrive in that part of his game. He did very good with deeper routes down the field. He doesn't have elite speed or anything, but he was able to create separation through his route running and his strength. And let's be honest, defenders are not supposed to touch you after 5 yards down the field, but they still do. Drake London powers through contact. That not only helps him with the deep passes, but the short, quick passes as well. He'll make a living running slant routes, powering through cornerbacks, pressing on him. That's a huge plus for a team. There is more and more of those smaller, faster wide receivers in the league. But when defenses come down on the line and press on them, they become largely useless. You will not have to worry about that with Drake London. Just line him up and watch him go. And I just like the fact that he's not only a deep ball, contested catch type of wide receiver, he's got great hands, and for his size, he is an agile dude. I don't think he'll ever have a problem playing in traffic in the middle of the field, especially in zone coverage. Now, he might need some time to adapt to man coverage corners in the NFL, especially the really good ones. He doesn't have the speed to separate against man, so he will have to keep improving on his route running, but the size still helps. He can box out corners. The tools are there, and he drastically improved this past season. His first 2 seasons, he had around 500 yards receiving. Then this past season, he exploded on the scene. I think he had almost 1,100 yards in 8 games. If he didn't break his ankle, he could have been the best wide receiver this past season. He was on his way. And on top of being an all-around big play threat, he will be a great run blocker. Everything is in place for him to be one of the better run blocking wide receivers in the NFL. And that is a huge value to pretty much every team, but especially a run heavy offense or a team like the 49ers, who throw a lot of exotic screens, end arounds, and all that stuff. He is capable of springing long touchdown runs with his blocking, pure and simple. And Drake London is just a grinded out, old school type of wide receiver. I like his toughness and his competitiveness he plays with. I do think he's going to improve in the NFL. I'm a believer in the talent. Listen, he isn't perfect. There's a few things that need to improve. His route running is basically one gear, just one speed at the moment. He's going to have to learn when to slow it down or when to speed it up throughout his route. Just add some nuance. You see that with the deep routes. I just want to see him incorporate that to his shorter stuff, them shorter routes. He needs to improve in his run blocking as well. I just need more aggression. At times it looks like he's just going through the motion. I want more of a commitment in that part of his game because he could be special in that department. Now, he really does do great coming out of his breaks. I want consistency in that, and for him to refine that perfectly to counter the man coverage he struggles with. But I think he's in a good place with that. I just want him as efficient as possible, no wasted steps in his routes, just get downfield as fast as possible. But I do like his route running. He does the little things most of the time. So, I think he's going to get it. I do think if he makes a few improvements, he can be a top level wide receiver down the field. And you see the flashes of greatness. He can contort his body, jump up and catch balls he has no business catching. He already tracks the ball through the air as well as any other wide receiver in this year's draft. Now it's just about getting to his spots and creating the separation he needs. You just don't see many big wide receivers with the agility that Drake London possesses. I think he's going to have a long, successful career. I could see him having like a Mike Evan type of impact if he finds the right situation on the right team. And obviously, he continues to improve on his craft. He's got the intelligence to improve for sure. You see them little nuances that he has already implemented in his game at such a young age. It's impressive. It makes me think he's going to keep improving and get where he needs to. Now, as for the question where he'll be drafted, I think he's definitely a first rounder. That I know that for sure. If I'm a GM, I'd feel comfortable taking him like pick 15 and back. I don't know if he'll go that early. If a team is in the middle of the first round and is looking for a wide receiver, then honestly, he's as good as any other one of these guys. I got him as my number 2, number 3 wide receiver on my list at this point. I got a few more to look at, but I already like this year's wide receiver class so far out of the guys I've looked at. We got a bunch of awesome playmakers coming into the league. The NFL will be better after this year's draft, that's for sure. But you guys let me know what you think of Drake London. How good do you think he can be? Where do you see him being drafted? I just want to thank you all for watching and just showing support for the channel. If there's a prospect you want to hear about, throw me a name in the comments. If you're new, subscribe. I want to make these player profiles all the way up to the draft. Please leave me a like. First of all, it's appreciated, but honestly, it helps me grow, and it keeps me motivated, keeps me wanting to keep making these. So I appreciate you all. I can't say thank you enough. Everybody stay safe, stay warm, and love one another. Peace out.